Hello everybody, Michael here, and today I'm going to take a backup of my database. So let's see how that could be done. So I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to go ahead and take a backup using MySQL Workbench, and then I'm going to do it using the command line using the CMD terminal prompt here on Windows. So let's see. Let's go first. I'm gonna need to log in on my database here. And let's just see. Show databases. What do we have here? Okay, so we have a few things. We have the world database. So I'm gonna target that one here. So in the workbench, if I have this menu here, maybe I could have that menu up there also. Server, data export, there it was. But for the time being, I'm having this menu in here. So I'm going to go for the data export part. So I'm getting a list on the databases I have here. So I want to have the world database only. So if this was a setup, I wanted to back up all the databases I have. Sure, mark all. But now I only want to have the world database here. Okay, there we go. So this database contains 3 tables, it seems, and they are all default marked. So I'm going to go ahead and do that also. So I can select tables. I don't have any views here, but that's fine. Okay. So here, if I had stored procedures, stored functions, if I had events or triggers, all those are database objects that I can add into the database. This small database doesn't have them, but I'm going to leave them clicked off because it is not uncommon to forget to generate the stored procedure to your backup when you have them, and then you need to regenerate your backup again and add them. I'm just going to leave them out for now there. Okay, so I'm going to go with the export options here. I want to export to dump to a project folder. And then I will get each table into a separate file. I don't want to have that. I want to have one file for the whole database. So I'm going to go with that option, a self-contained file, and it's going to be dumped there. Maybe I can change that so it will be dumped right into this place where I'm standing in my terminal, just to make it a bit easier. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and try that first. So let's start that export and see how it turns out. Okay, so dumping world, all tables, and I see it running a command there. Okay, seems nice. So let's see, the dump there, dump 20. Okay, so let's see if I have a file like that. Here, dump something. Yep, seems to be there. Maybe if I look into it, dump, what will I see? Okay, there it is. So MySQL dump, Windows database world. What is the first SQL command? There, drop table if exists city. Create table, okay. So I'm getting these commands. Drop table, then create table, and then insert into the table. Okay, nice. I do think that I will open up this dump file in my text editor instead, because it's just plain easier to watch the file when I'm in my text editor here. So it's also I see all these comments in a better way. And here is a lot of setup that MySQL dump programs adds, but it's basically these drop table if exist, create table. Okay, good. I wonder if there were a thing, because you saw my backup file here. It did not contain the create database statement. So if I wanted to add that, I need to go there. include the create statement. So let's see how, okay, so I'm going to overwrite my same file. So let's see. Was it? No, there it is. So it's a .1. So let's see if I can sort of open up that one. There we go. So let's see if we can get it in my, here it is. So it's the parentheses 1 file there. So here I added the create database statement. So now I'm going to create a database if it doesn't exist, and then I'm going to use it. And then I have sort of all the basic commands that's building up the database. So that was sort of a nice thing to do there. Okay, good. I'm just going to leave that now. If I actually wanted to sort of restore or create my database, I could just sort of copy it down in here and create another file there and paste it into it, and I will have sort of the ability to just sort of run everything and recreate the database world as it was sort of from the beginning. Okay, good. But let's see, I said I wanted to do this on the command line also. So let's see, I'm going to clear that. So when I do this on the command line, I'm using a command that is called mysqldump. mysqldump, there it is. So what is the database I want to make a backup of? Okay, so that is the world database. And let's see what happened when I do that. Oops, everything is printed out on my screen. Okay, let's do it once more and add a result file of world.sql. Yeah, sounds nice. So there we go. Excellent. So now we got that file. We can have a look in it. Okay, so yeah, so it looks pretty much like the other files that we got sort of dumped using Workbench here. It has slightly a different structure. Maybe I go ahead and open it world.sql. Maybe if I could open it in at home. Yeah, here we have it. So it has a sort of a slight, if I just go up here, slightly different sort of structure if we do it in the Workbench, or if we do it, this is the command line. So nevertheless, we got all the sort of stuff in here. So should we add this here? Should we have this create database in the file, or should we go ahead and not have it? Well, basically all sort of depends on how you intend to use this file. I usually go without having the database in there, but it sort of depends. Because now I have sort of I can create a complete copy of the database there. So if I sort of go in and try to use this file now, let's see if I'm going to use the backup file to restore the database into another database. So I have two world databases. So I'm going to go into my MySQL terminal client there. I like that one. So what am I going to do? Yes, I'm going to create a new database, and I'm going to call it the world 1. Okay, so this is going to be my second world database. So let's use that world 1. There we go. And show tables. No, of course it's empty. So now I'm going to try and run this world SQL there. So of course I could copy it and then paste it in there. But since the file is available there, so I could also source that file because it is in the current directory that I'm working. So what did I label it? I said world.sql. So let's see what happened. Wow, a few things happened. Okay, so we should just be able to see, show the tables. Yes, so it's in there. So select code country from country. It's something like this, I think. Let's see. name from country, limit 7, and there we go. Okay, so we have a completely copy of the database and we can work with them both. And sometimes that could be sort of a good thing. At least it's a sort of a really decent thing to be able to create the backup and then actually test that it worked by loading it into another database. Okay, so that's all for the backup part, both terminal and using MySQL Workbench. So there we go. Have a nice day. Bye bye.